Okay, today we are going to use our scanned image to trace in Photoshop, and we are going to practice how to use a brush and set up brush side and give some texture in Photoshop. Okay, let's open the Photoshop, and we are going to use the file I scanned already. I have this cartoon which is drawn and inked already. So it's a PDF file. When you dump into Photoshop, Photoshop will ask you, okay, then which image
Well,
you
the thing is, I'm still trying to find it.
Okay, so let me finish this recording and I will help you to get it. So don't worry about this. Let's finish this. So I will choose the first one. I'll say okay. And that looks like I probably want another one. Dump again. Let's see. I wanted something. I wanted this one. Okay, I want this little lamp thing. And I'm going to go to the image. I'm going to do the image rotation. Rotate 180 degree. So now we have this little thing here. Going to use a Command plus to enlarge this big. So this is the first layer. So I'm going to also check the image mode is RGB. I'm going to change. You can change to CMYK. You can stay RGB. Both okay because we are going to just do the black and white and grayscale for this image. So I'm going to come to the layer panel and click this little triangle. Gets to a new layer. This layer, I'm going to name it and see.
Wait, where's the RBM?
Art. Huh?
Where's the RBM?
You mean the RGB?
Yeah, where is it?
Is here underneath the image, mode, RGB color, and CMYK color. Is all here.
I can choose either one of those?
Yes, you can use either one of those or even the grayscale because for this session, so we're only going to do the grayscale. So in majority, like if we do for the print work, like today we are going to introduce the what is RGB, what is CMYK, the color difference. We are going to create a color wheel. For now, because that's the first session, is only we're going to just doing the brush in Photoshop, so you don't have to worry about the color selection here. All right. So when we come to here, we created this line art. So I'm going to go back to the layer 1 and name this original art. And then still on the layer panel, there is opacity here. Right now, by default, is 100. I'm going to just drag this down, make it a little bit, put on 40. So it's kind of like, it is a guide for you, see where you want to draw and what kind of shape you want to draw, because we are going to work on the line art by using the brush in Photoshop. So you need to go back to the line art, make sure you're working in this layer instead of original art layer. Okay, after you've done this, you go to your tool panel and there is brush tool and the pencil tool. Right now we are going to use a brush tool. Click the brush tool. So for brush tool, when you click here, you got some option here. Look, on the top, it has the brush size, and also it has a different preset here and different brush tip. I call this a tip. You can use different tip here, and you can choose different texture. For texture, I'm going to talk later. So it's going to show, okay, it's going to look like this. If you want like more option, you can come to this little panel here. So you can click this brush, you have a more option here. When you click the shape and the dynamic, so it has all those. You can choose the brush angle, everything. You can even see scattered. Right now I just going to do this. Okay, just use this brush and make sure the top is black. Going to also, what I noticed, this one is a little too big. The brush size, you can use the bracket on your computer, on your keyboard. The bracket, left bracket is make it the brush size smaller. The right bracket is make the size bigger. So just use that, or you can use the one on top. Right now it's 40, you can just change, here you want to 80, 18 or something like that. You can do that as well. I'm going to try it and see how it looks. Okay, it looks fun to me, but this brush doesn't have a, I call it attitude. So it looks like a too flat, doesn't have a thicker and skinnier line. So I'm just going to Command Z, undo it. Going to choose a different brush. I click here, and I see they have a different brush. I really need a brush has a thicker line to strong line, so I now feel I want this one. Going to also change that. Okay, this should give me a better, a little bit better idea to do this. Just use your mouse to draw the hand drawing here. Change the size, and you can tilt it angle.
Wait, show me real quick here.
Sure. Oh, Jason, do you mind I finish recording and then come to you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I didn't understand.
That's okay. So I will finish this recording, and then, so this way the student who missing the session, they can watch at home. Now I got a nice line, has some thick, has some skinnier line and a thicker line. Now I'm thinking to do the squiggly on top of this line. So I'm going to make a new layer called here. So now I need to change something. I click the something has a little bit texture here. I think I like this better. Okay, let me try it. Yeah, this one is much better. It's good for the hair on top. So different type of hair. Change back and add some dimensions for those hair. Yeah, this lamp is the storybook I'm working on right now. So I use this to do the tutorial. Okay. Now I'm happy with this lamp here. So I need to have a little bit here. So if I turn off the guideline, so I can see, okay, my lamp, oh, I've got the hair on the top, a little ear, okay, just give here. Because at the end, this guideline is going to disappear. It's going to have only your lamp artwork exist. So now I've finished this lamp. I'm going to create a new layer called the grass. So on the preset, on the brush preset in Photoshop, we have this grass already exists, a different type of grass. You can just click this grass. Okay. And if you want to increase the grass size, you can do that. I think I give a little bit more attitude here. So those you can use for the grass, and also you can use for the human beings' hair. Especially if you do the photo retouching, you need to do something for the model here. There's also very nice brush preset. When you go to the Photoshop Advanced Photoshop learning class, we can talk about that in detail. All right. So that's pretty much it. Turn off this. So I'm adding a new layer called the background. So I'm going to put this background layer right underneath here. And then I'm coming to the edit, goes to fill. I'm going to fill the background color. Because my background color is white, I fill out the white. This way I can see very clear about this cartoon. So I want to fix something like on the hair. I can just easily go to the hair. Okay, I need to fix some brush here. So I just need to select the brush I choose before. So they told me the one I choose before is like this. I'm going to add a little bit on the tail. Adding a little bit more dimension here. Try different brush to see which one you like the best. Alright, so that is for this little lamp, and after you finish, we go to Save As. So this one we're going to put on the new folder. This one I call the Rainbow Birthday. Create. And this character name is fuzzy. Okay, make sure you save into the either PSD format or the T format. Okay, so let's save this. Okay, that's the first session using brush to create our line art.